Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any question for Maggie? All right, no questions. So we're gonna move on to the next presentation, and that will be me. So I'm gonna present a topic that we all can relate to. It's about COVID and organizational change. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, yes, Professor.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. All right, so this presentation explains change and provide an understanding of why people resist change and why they are likely not to embrace it under COVID. Why they are likely not to embrace it under COVID, yes. They say that the only constant in life is change. Organizations tend to promote change towards improved operations and better use of resources. Employees, on the other hand, tend to resist change. It is easier to just keep doing things the old way. They believe change is not necessary. They have the mentality of saying, if it's not broken, why fix it? Other reasons to resist change also include job security issues, fear of failure, organizational politics, miscommunications and misunderstanding, and uncertainty about the future. Once change is introduced and implemented, it becomes accepted and embraced by employees. Then they would resist going back to pre-change. Internal and external actions and events motivate the organization to respond. Accurate predictions of these events, such as COVID, lead to accurate decision-making and consequently to accurate organizational change. So in 2019, the outbreak of COVID happened. It did impact all of us. It changed our way of life. Businesses were not different. Organizations and employees were challenged and forced to become innovative and adapt. It became vital to introduce change, and it became vital for business survival. Successful implementation of organizational change was not only due to the urgency and necessity due to the pandemic, but also due to the sound management that inspires trust and provides clear communication, which help employees understand the reasoning behind the change. Successful leaders were able to restore employees' faith in their management. Let's not also forget that sustainable change, especially under COVID, requires providing employees with continuous support to address their emotional, mental, and physical needs. Resistance to change can be either open and direct or implied and delayed. The latter is the more challenging one. It's really challenging to address. When the resistance is open, leaders would have the opportunity to address employees' concerns and answer questions. They can provide accurate information. They can involve employees in the formation, introduction, and implementation of change. But implied and delayed resistance can obstruct change, causing setbacks. Understanding change is the first step towards successful introduction and implementation of change. Change can be defined as an alteration in structure, people, and technology. Changing structure impacts employees' authority to improve processes and/or change products. They would control job design and can identify and solve problems related to the new organizational change. Changing people refers to positive changes in their attitudes and behavior. They become more committed to continuous improvements that lead to high quality outcomes. Changing technology includes changes to the equipments and work methods and processes. It helps streamline the process and enhance employees' knowledge and skills. Under COVID, organizations faced many challenges and uncertainty. The rapid spread of the virus has created an evolving need to change the way we live and do business. Change became the new norm, and resistance to change under the pandemic became morally and socially unacceptable. A 2021 Pew Research Center survey asked the American public about their reactions to the pandemic during the previous year. The survey received more than 189,000 responses. Overall, the respondents agree that the pandemic is responsible for making change in their lives in the areas of relationships, activities, physical and emotional health, society and politics, work-life balance, and finances. Despite the mixed feelings about change under COVID, it cannot be avoided. Due to the continuous spread of the virus that caused a rise in hospitalization and fatalities, governments and individuals must consider personal moral responsibility when introducing and completing change to our new way of life. There are several reasons that explain why employees resist change in the workplace, to include poor alignment of a reward system. Typically, managers are credited for successful implementation of change, but not employees. Introducing a fair reward system can help motivate employees and reduce resistance to change. The fear of the unknown, that's another reason. Clear two-way communication can demolish rumors. It can allow employees to basically process, accept, and prepare for change. Mistrust in management. So employees continue to not trust in management, but through communications and continuous support, employees' fear of change can be reduced and maybe eliminated. Another reason is internal policies. Some employees may fear the loss of their status and power. They may resist change and solicit support from their peers. Managers must continue taking positive steps to implement change. Through continuous employee support and clear and timely communications, they can overcome such obstacles. Under COVID, the norms of implementing change and employees' resistance are different. Due to the urgency of implementing the needed change, successful leaders shared more information with their employees. Employees showed little or no resistance to change because they understand the urgency and necessity of change during the pandemic. They see that the organizational change is necessary for its survival. And both the organization and employees, they have aligned their values and instinct for survival. The pandemic will have a long-lasting impact on the economy and society. The daily announced national and global fatality numbers are eye-openers and call for an emergent need for changing the way organizations do business. To transition life back to normality, many organizations such as hospitals and healthcare systems require their employees to vaccinate against COVID as a condition of employment. Most employees complied with the mandate, not only to conform with organizational required change, but also to correspond with the moral and ethical belief that the vaccine will help end the pandemic and protect self and the society at large. Other organizations were hesitant to such mandate in fear of employee resistance and the risk of discrimination claims. Although resistance to organizational change because of the virus is low, resistance to change for other reasons unrelated to COVID is higher during the pandemic. A 2020 survey found that the pandemic triggered a wave of mental issues among Americans. These issues include anxiety, depression, and loneliness. Leaders must consider these possible symptoms that may trigger resistance and resentment to change among their employees. They must provide additional support to these employees who work remotely, since they are more likely to exhibit these mental health challenges. Carter and Schlesinger, 1979, suggested different methods to help managers influence individual employees and groups during change. They explained that education and communication would help them persuade their employees to accept change. Participation and involvement also would encourage employees to commit to the plan. Facilitation and support would help adjust employees' status. Negotiation and agreement would help individual employees and groups who would lose power to come to a mutual agreement with management and accept change. Manipulation and cooptation would only be used when other tactics fail or are expensive. And explicit and implicit coercion methods could be used in times of urgent needs to change, and the initiator of change holds significant power. We have also Shoflet et al. 2021 proposed techniques to be used by leaders to help facilitate change under COVID. So they need to provide clear, timely, and persuasive communication to the team about the urgent need for change. They need to share with their employees information about the plan and vision for change. Management must commit and continue to provide support to employees through education, training, and whatever is needed to bring employees back to buy in. Also, let's not forget that negotiation and collaboration with individuals and groups who lose power also is needed to basically provide them assurance that their role will not be impacted greatly, or it could be a shift of responsibilities, but also provide a justification for that. These tactics can also improve management competencies, the scope of change, the change plan, and employees' readiness and confidence. In conclusion, organizational change is a reality and expected. Leaders must anticipate resistance to change and take the necessary steps to help employees transition and adapt. Early introduction to change and soliciting employees' feedback and addressing their questions and concerns can help reduce the resentment to change, can help also reduce mistrust of management, and also reduce their job insecurity. Also, employees must believe in their leadership and share their vision for change. Whether under normal conditions or under distress such as COVID, employees' resistance to change is reduced or eliminated when the purpose of the change is communicated clearly, top to bottom, when employees' view of the big picture is aligned with their leaders, and when employees have the best interest of the organization at heart. Selecting the appropriate techniques can also help leaders face and overcome employees' resistance to change with proper planning involving also everyone that is impacted with change. Training, providing support can bring everyone to buy in and help transition to the new status. And for now, I will take your questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask.